Many thanks for staying with us. This, of course, is still Politics HQ on News Central Television. Let's start the conversation this evening with a very unfortunate event in Ibadan, Nigeria, where a Christmas Funfair event took place on 18th of December 2024 at the Basharun District Islamic High School, organized by Olori Naomi, the former wife of the Oni of Ife, the Women in Need of Guidance and Support Foundation, and also Agidigbo FM. The free event, which had been held in previous years, targeted children aged between 0 to 13 years and advertised distribution of 5,000 Naira to 5,000 children, free food, and event prizes, which include scholarships. Now, this, of course, drew attention, particularly due to Nigeria's ongoing economic crisis, which had been characterized as the nation's worst in a generation. Now, attendees began arriving at this funfair as early as 5 a.m. That's 5 hours before the scheduled start time, as reports indicated that over 5,000 children assembled at the venue. The fatal crash occurred when the event organizers arrived to commence proceedings, though the exact sequence of events remains under investigation. The Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, reported that security agencies or agents were deployed to the site in order to restore security following the Stampede. This unfortunate event has continued to draw reactions nationwide as persons and people, of course, in the public and private space, question the organization and its protocol. Very sad. Well, joining me on the program this evening to discuss this is Kayode Babayomi, is the AAC chairman, Oyo State. Thank you for your time, Kayode.
Thanks for hosting me, and good evening, Mr. Nako.
Good evening. A very tragic event or very tragic occurrence in Oyo State. About 35 children lost their lives at what was meant to be an event to give back to society and a day of joy for these children and their families.
It was a sad event where we record 32 children Stampede. This occurred in Ibadan. That was 2 days ago during an event where they struggled to get Christmas gift from the ex-wife of Oni of Ife. We extend our heartfelt condolence to the families, to the relatives of the victims of these heartbreaking incidents. At the same time, this tragedy alone highlights the numerous, avoidable deaths we witnessed in Oyo State. Last year, we witnessed, January this year, we witnessed a bomb blast where lives and properties were also destroyed. As I'm speaking this morning again here in Ibadan as well, we have a very powerful inferno that claimed the life of a father, mother, and one of the grandson here in Ibadan. So this very situation, I can call it a mourning period, a mourning week for the people of Oyo State.
All right. I mean, let's stream it down to this very tragic one. Even though the organizers, a notable one, the convener, that's the former wife of the Oni of Ife, this is not the first time she's organizing such. She actually decided to bring it to Oyo State this time around. But many are questioning the organization of this particular event, given the size of the crowd. But, I mean, I've been privileged to listen to some of the reactions from the key stakeholders, and they said, particularly that of Amzat, he did say that people, number one, got to the venue way early, and at some point, they seem not to want to organize themselves. So I would just want to know your reaction to what you feel as regards the organization before we even go into what AAC is saying in your press statement.
Thank you very much. I can say that the organizers are yet to wake up to the reality of the situation of things in the country today, because hunger has become, an identity of majority of the Nigerian people. Hunger is, is an anthem of the day in every household. To an extent, let's take for instance, if you start dropping a corn from your house to your office, I can tell you, fowls, chickens, goats will not follow you to pick all those corns. It is human being like us, Nigerians like us, that will be picking all those corns one after the other to let you know that this is the height of the poverty, this is the height of hunger in the land, which is, which has contributed to a lot of deaths, which has contributed to, to loss of lives. So I felt that the organizers are yet to come out with the reality of things. That even though if you want to give 10 people a gift, I can tell you double of that number will be there. And in this very same occurrence here, I want you to know that some people, they've slept there. Some people slept overnight at that very same event, just to come and get 5,000 naira, something that it's not. In fact, it's not even up to $4. $4. You understand? So just 5,000 naira gifts, and people will eat free food. It shows that whenever we come out to say that there's hunger in the land, we're not just making noise. It's a testament of what the practical reality on ground. But so sad that the organizers actually don't feel something of such would happen, and their safety precautions were not fully in place. This is just a sad event, and it's so sad.
I would like to, of course, pick up from what you said, particularly with reference to the statement the AAC did release in this regard. It says AAC mourns the death of 32 children in Ibadan Stampede. I'll read part of what your statement did say. He said, we condemn the event organizers, partners, government institutions, and sponsors for their negligence regarding the welfare and safety of the attendees. They failed to implement adequate security measures to manage such a large crowd. It is clear that the organizers did not understand the material condition faced by many in their community. Calling for freebies or giveaways in this context leads to an inevitable outflow of people, especially given the current economic struggles faced by numerous families in the nation. Now, we demand, fast forward, still on your statement, we demand the organizers and all collaborators of the event be held accountable. Those responsible for this tragedy, including those involved in similar events, must not be allowed to evade responsibility. And of course, it goes on. Now, my question to you is this. For observers and people following this story, the intention is pretty laudable, giving back to society. But you seem to blame the organizers entirely here. But couldn't have been a situation where maybe what they planned and what they anticipated, at some point, they seemed overwhelmed? Because I was listening to, I want to land somewhere. I was listening to the reaction of an audio reaction of Mr. Oriyomi, and he did say that some of those present, they said the event is for children. Adults showed up. Children, adults showed up. They said some of those present were throwing their kids over the fence of the venue. These are adults. One would expect some level of decorum too, from the parents of these people. But unfortunately, what happened. So, what do you have to say to that?
Thank you very much. It's in the current situation we find ourselves, expect something related to that will happen. We are not only blaming the organizers. We personally assert that the root cause of the tragedy lies in the poor governance and irresponsible conduct by the government, leaving the masses of our people in abject poverty. Like I said, hunger has been an identity of nearly majority of Nigerians as we speak. In fact, you don't need to ask someone, maybe, are you hungry or not? It is written at everyone's forehead that I am hungry, even power. And that was what led to the end bad governance. end hunger. We've experienced those actions this year. The abject poverty, people have no choice, than struggling to fight to win giveaway, which result to this stampede. This should not, the government should not, be shy away from their responsibility and expect the citizens to bear the burden. You understand? So we are not only blaming the organizers, we are also blaming trailing the cause of this bad incident can also be traced to the government, because the government are the one that cook this hunger that people household are sharing everywhere. Today, if you call for free gift in New Central, I can tell you before tomorrow morning, you meet more than 10,000 people there. This is the situation, this is the reality and the situation of things on ground. This incident also was a testament of the failure of the current government and their successive governments. The government, the present government and the past government, they've failed in protecting the lives and well-being of the people. We emphasize that the Makinde government, must take all responsibility, full responsibility, for this incident, instead of offering some responses. The government must ensure the safety of all its citizens, and to the organizers as well. Like I said, we need to take note of all the happenings. We need to observe. Firstly, we need to observe the situation of the country, how hot the situation of the country is. We need to, we need to take a study of that alone. If they've studied the situation of things, probably, like I said, that they've not woken up to the reality of things, this will have been, avoided. Because a situation whereby people are coming out, people were invited, children were invited, and parents were throwing their kids over the fence just to get access to get 5,000 naira and free food.
All right.
It is a big calamity on us.
All right, Kayode. It's really tragic.
I'm telling you,
if
the issue of hunger and poverty is not addressed in Nigeria, I can tell you, I'm so sorry to say, we have a long way to go, and many of these occurrences might happen if not are properly guided.
All right, Kayode. Of course, I will definitely pick up. We'll look beyond this very unfortunate event and see the implication of this, particularly when it comes to policy in Oyo State. But first, let's go on a quick break. When we return, the conversation, the show will continue. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This is still Politics HQ on New Central Television, and at this time we are discussing the very tragic event that happened in Ibadan, Oyo State, where there was a stampede at a children's Christmas funfair. Unfortunately, 35 children lost their lives. They died in that stampede. I have Kayode Babayomi, is the AAC chairman, Oyo State, and of course is discussing this with me. Thank you for staying with me, Kayode. Now, Kayode, let's look at this from a broader perspective, especially when it comes to governance in the state. Just a while ago, there was also a major explosion in Ibadan that not just killed some individuals, but destroyed properties too. Does this, string of tragedies, do you think it should call for concern, particularly when it comes to administration and governance, that should maybe provoke even a policy directive?
Yes, but not just the recent ones or the one that just happened. We in the African National Congress, we always, we've been, on a policy track where we tell the government, when we come out to oppose the government, we tell the government that in all these incidents, all these tragic incidents that happen, I can tell you there is no any mayor taken by the state government to call this future, to call for future occurrence. There is no plan in place. There was no plan in place. The blast explosion that happened, up to now, we are still waiting for the reports. Some months ago, we called the government. We called Makinde government out to give us the reports. We give him a timeline for the report. The residents affected, they were left they were left stranded. In fact, the government, at the point, the Makinde government claimed that they paid for hospital bill. It was all lies. Yes, it was all lies.
You are saying
now
you are saying the Makinde government claimed that they paid for hospital bills for the explosion that happened, and that you are saying it was all lies.
We have a fact. Yes.
So they never paid for any of the bills of the victims of the Ibadan explosion.
In fact, some people, Mr. Lako, please, some people were abandoned at the hospital, and the government claimed they were paying their bills. Some people catered for themselves there, but some families took their relatives out of the hospital. At this very same, let's not forget, during that occurrence, it was when the police game college was happening in LA. So some hospitals, some hotels were fully booked, especially the ones that were used. So some people were left stranded outside the hotel, the hospital. After the incident, we called for reports. Nothing came up. Later, Makinde came up with one R&D committee, which is as usual. That's what it does. Whenever we have such a situation, it will quickly arrange one R&D committee just to douse down the tension and to give impression that is with the people or is working towards, to make a change or assist, which is all lies. On this again, I can tell you, knowing fact that the people, the organizer, are well known, I can tell you, if care is not taken, if the Nigerian people don't voice out on this occurrence, you might not see the end of it. And taking a look at this occurrence, I can tell you, the media in Oyo State are not reporting it as expected. I can tell you, if not because of the blogs that are picking it, carrying it, a lot of people are not aware. A lot of people are not aware that such occurrence, such bad incident happened. So I can tell you that it is not only this. The government, at least before you can, have the access, before you can have the opportunity to convert such crowd, 5,000 crowd for that matter, there should be a follow-up from the government. The government should ensure that, what are you putting in place to ensure proper safety and adequate safety for the people that are coming.
Kayode, talking about the Oyo State governor, Seyi Makinde has actually suspended his December 25th birthday celebrations in honor of the children who died, during the Stampede, and has also directed that safety precautions measures be, will I say, enforced or implemented across the state when it comes to organizing events, particularly with event planners. So, what do you say to that?
Should we just be having that now when we've lost over 30 kids? Should we just be having that implementation now? No, we should be serious. Those are the responsibilities of the government, to see beyond what the ordinary citizens would not see. So it is not just now that the government should now start saying we've ordered for proper implementation, and we should know what this is governance. This is not all about media shows and perpetuity that Makinde is going all about. So it is very, very important that even before you can have the opportunity, because you can have the access, to bring that very huge crowd together, there should be a permit from the government. Yeah, there should be
Are you suggesting that the organizers didn't get some sort of permit from the government? Is that what you're saying?
If the organizers have gotten a permit from the government, then the government also needs to ensure for follow-up. The government needs to ensure for follow-up, to ensure safety. The kids that are there are kids from Oyo State. Let's not get it wrong here. We lost 35 kids in a day, just within 2-3 hours in a day. No, this is so sad. This is not a time where we should be discussing this, or this is not a time where the government should now start coming up, to implement such policies. These policies should have been in place for a while, not just now. Again, Mr. Rako, the people that are arrested, the organizers, I learned that Naomi was released yesterday. He came back this morning to the Yaganku CID, where the case is being handled. This evening, I heard that she fainted. I mean, the Naomi itself. You know, why Oriyomi has honored, Oriyomi has been invited. Oriyomi is with the police, with the state command now as I speak to you, as well. Part of the organizers, one of the presenters that I know was also arrested as well. Like 7 or 6 of them were arrested. Now, where the police needs to come in is, are you charging these people to court, or you just want to take detention? They are not allowing bail. These people have been there for over 48 hours now. What's the case? Whereas Naomi is painting 1 minute after the other. What should be the hope? And that's why we have to say is that the government, the Oyo Police Command should not sweep this matter under the carpet as usual. We want to state it categorically that they should not consider the profile that are involved in this situation. Yes, especially the organizer. The organizer of this freebie, the organizer of that Christmas Funfair needs to, by now, we need to know the state of our arrest and all. We are not getting this, from the public side. We are only making our own little investigation to get all these things. Whereas I'm very sure if there is no much outcry on this, believe me, we might just forget about it in the next days, which will be so sad for us. And, because we can't just be talking of 35 children at the spot within the hour. This is not a gun shooting.
All right, Kayode, I'm afraid we really need to go, but thank you so much for your time on the program. A really tragic event in Ibadan, Oyo State, 35 children, who lost their lives in what was supposed to be a moment of fun for all of them. We hope that at the end of the day, the family, God consoles them and they get some sort of, respite in all of this. It's really sad. But thank you for your time on the program once again, Kayode.